Welcome to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller, the podcast. I'm joined by Seth.
Hey, welcome, guys. Thanks for finding us on the internet.
Now, these shows originally aired on Brookings Radio, but now they're all here for your enjoyment. I hope you like it.
There you go. Sit back, enjoy the show, relax. Let us know if you want to see anything on future shows. As we said, this comes out live in the Brookings area, but enjoy this archive episode.
Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Welcome to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. This week, a little something different. Beer should be fun. We're going to have some fun. Time for weird and fun beer facts. First up, Seth Cook from Wooden Legs Brewing in Brookings with some of the weird stuff that they put into craft beer.
We start with the not super crazy and weird beers, but we made a beer here that had ghost chili in it. So there's chili peppers used in beer is certainly not off the table.
And it was bloody hot.
It was bloody hot. It made for a very good red beer. There's other things that people stuff into beers. There's coconut that gets stuffed into beers. There's maple syrup. There's all kinds of coffee in beers. But these really aren't the weird beers anymore. Maybe they were. Now they're making Rocky Mountain oyster beers. Yes. There's pizza beers. There's a New Belgium did a coconut curry Hefeweizen. If you had that one,
I hadn't.
We had that on tap for a little while. Coconut, curry flavors, and a hint of banana. So it was a crazy, kind of a weird beer that they made. Rogue out in the Pacific Northwest is well known for all of the beers they make.
They kind of specialize in weird.
They teamed up with Voodoo Donut out there and made chocolate peanut butter banana beers, and they made all kinds of
bacon donuts,
whatever you can find on a donut. So there's those Voodoo beers. Then they took it a step further. They actually made a beer brewed from the yeast extracted from one of their brewers' beards.
Beard beer.
That is a real thing.
They still make it.
And once they isolated the strain, they kept it and collected it.
Yes, beer fermented with yeast collected from a brewer's beard. I think I'm going to pass.
It's not quite as weird as you would think. There's a lot of yeast that floats around in the world, and in the brewery, there's a lot of places to find yeast. I guess the beard is as well as any place else.
Well, as we well know, just about anything can get stuck in your beard. So.
That's right. Pizza crumb flavored beer.
And there have been battles to brew the world's strongest beer.
We had an arms race at one time. People were trying to brew beers that were stronger than others. This actually kind of started in the late 90s when Sam Adams made Utopias, which was 21% by alcohol by volume. You can do that with a yeast strain. You have to really manage your yeast strain and develop a yeast that is tolerant to that high of alcohol. You can also do frost or frozen distillation and concentrate it by that Eisbach in it. I think Snake Venom is the current, it's like 135 proof beer.
One people might have heard of was Tactical Nuclear Penguin. Was the big one for a while.
That's right. Anything, as everybody knows, anything over 100 proof actually maintains a flame. You won't see that in South Dakota, actually. By state law, we're restricted to 12% naturally fermented, or we have to go through some other licensing and laws.
Oh, so. I didn't know 12% was the limiting size. Well, there's an obscure beer fact right there.
There you go. In the state of South Dakota, any beer that you have out of the brewery here is 11.99999.
But you can bring in beer that's higher than that.
We can bring in beer, but by restriction, it's what we can make.
One more weird beer. The legendary cock ale.
In England, there's a recipe that we've seen for what is called cock ale, and that is when a actual bird, a chicken, is brewed with the beer. Chris always wanted to do that.
He really wanted to do that.
Maybe he's done that since he's left.
Coming up in part 2, additional beer obscura and more.
One finger's like more than a thinker. It's a heavy beer drinker. It's like a meal in a can. It makes you feel like a man. Drink it while you're watching the telly. Rest your beer on your belly. One more you can't stop.
Welcome back to Beer Untapped with Perry Miller as we explore some of the oddities of the craft beer world. Now, according to records, George Washington demanded the Continental Army receive their daily ration of beer.
The military marches on their stomach. I think it was a Napoleon quote. And I guess in America that means they marched on their liver. But the beer of the time, it wasn't nearly as high alcohol as it is today. The thing about beer...
It was a safe, nutritious drink.
It was safe, it was nutritious, it didn't spoil as fast as some of the others, it was highly portable. There's a tremendous amount of positive calories in it. An army can run on beer. I wouldn't go run on double imperial IPAs. You wouldn't do anything.
Washington also brewed beer at Mount Vernon, the states with the highest per capita beer consumption in 2014. In order, the top 5 are North Dakota, New Hampshire, Montana, South Dakota, and Vermont.
North Dakota and South Dakota actually have the lowest percentage of craft beer consumed. So North Dakota and South Dakota have a tendency to drink beer up here. There's nothing wrong with that. We just have lagged a little bit behind our different styles, opening our palates up, and we're on their way.
So come on, go get some good beer. Couple more fun ones. At the annual Wife Carrying Championships in Finland, yeah, it's a real thing, the winners received the wife's weight in beer. And in the 1990s, the Beer Lovers Party ran candidates for election in both Belarus and Russia.
What? I didn't even know this. In the 90s, there was actually a party of beer lovers?
In Belarus and Russia. They ran candidates. I don't know how they did.
I don't care. That's something we should vote for. It's coming up to the elections. I'd vote for a beer candidate.
Next up today, new at Brookings Liquor Store, Drew Eklund tells us about Thirsty Thursday.
So this will be every Thursday. We will mark down one of our tap lines on our growler station to half price. And it'll stay that way until it's gone. The real kicker is if you finish off the keg, if you're the last one, and you don't get a full growler pour, you get the beer for free.
And there's some great new stuff on tap at Brookings Liquors.
First one is from Summit, from their Unchained series. It's called Sticke Alt Dusseldorf-style ale. It's an alt beer, which makes it kind of interesting because you don't really see a lot of alt beers around. Summit's version is on the hoppier side for the style, but if you've never had an alt beer, it's still not very hoppy. It's a bittersweet beer with earthy, nutty flavors, a slight tart, dry finish to it. The next one on tap that we have is from Brickway Brewery out of Omaha. It's a barrel-aged imperial stout, 20 cents an ounce. That's $6.40 for a 32-ounce pour of barrel-aged imperial stout. That's a great deal for a pretty expensive style of beer.
Finally today, don't miss the epic video game bash at Wooden Legs in Brookings.
Land party time. It is on the 13th. That's the day before Valentine's Day. Bring your computers, bring your rigs, bring your stuff in. I have a group set up on Facebook, so you do need to confirm. Follow us on Facebook, and there is an event there, and there's some registration stuff. No cost to anybody that plays. Bring a power strip in, bring your computer, pre-register. We're going to drink some beer, drink some Red Bull, eat some pizzas, and just play video games. If you guys don't know what a LAN party is, let me help you out. So before the internet was fast enough, before the Al Gore made the internet fast enough to actually play each other in other people's apartments online, what we would do, and I'm using the word "we" because I participated in this with great. I have a great authority on the subject here. We would pull our computers together and plug them into a LAN or a local area network. There's the acronym, local area network, and then we would set up little micro servers and be able to play each other.
Don't miss it this Saturday at Wooden Legs in Brookings. That's it for this week's edition of Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Until next time, drink local and drink responsibly. Thank you for listening to this archived edition of Beer Untapped with Perry Miller. Feel free to listen to other episodes, and if there's anything you'd like us to talk about on a future show, please let us know. Thanks again.